Hello, today we will be going over economics using the popular show Breaking Bad. So as we all know, Gustavo Fring produces two goods, that being fried chicken and Heisenberg's product, which if you've seen the show, I'm just going to assume you know what that is. So Albuquerque is a very hungry city and Pollos Hermanos is a local favorite. But Gustavo can only produce so much chicken in a day. Likewise, addiction is at an all-time high. Many people on the streets crave Heisenberg's Crystal Blue. This creates scarcity as the wants of the addicts go above the means of production for the product. So this is our PPC chart. This is used to show the opportunity cost of Gustavo Fring's two products, that being Heisenberg's Crystal Blue and his famous fried chicken. So as we can see, the opportunity cost of one chicken is 3/4 Heisenberg's product. And you can measure that on this chart here by doing the other over method, as these are outputs. So we take 60 over 80 and we get our opportunity cost for our fried chicken. And of course, this is reversed when we do the opportunity cost of product, that being 4 over 3. So we can see how much of a product Gustavo is having to sacrifice when producing the other good. And these dots, any dot on the line is efficiency. This is where Gustavo wants to be when producing. Any dot above the line is currently impossible for Gus to achieve given his resources. And any dot under the line is inefficient, which as we all know is unacceptable for Gustavo Fring. So here we have some shifts in the PPC. So what Gustavo wants to happen is for it to shift outward, as that means he can ultimately produce more. So let's say when Skinny Pete and Badger are brought on to help Walter White with production, the PPC will shift outward, giving him more product to sell. However, a shortage in muscle meat has also hit the city of Albuquerque, which may weaken production, shifting the PPC inward. So as we can see here, Hector Salamanca has decided to replicate Gustavo's business model and has some fried chicken schemes of his own. So by doing the same method on his PPC chart, we can see for him chicken costs 1.5 product. And remember, for Gus it costs 0.75. And now for him, the product costs about 2/3 fried chicken. And for Gus it costs 1.33, 1 1/3. So using these two, we can determine who has the absolute advantage and the comparative advantage. Hector has the absolute advantage in product, while Gus retains the absolute advantage in chicken. This is because Hector can produce overall more when only focusing on the product, while Gus can produce more chicken if he were to only focus on that. However, Gus also has the comparative advantage in chicken, as his opportunity cost is lower, and Hector also has the comparative advantage in product, as the opportunity cost is lower in terms of chicken for him. Hector should trade anything less than 1.5 in product in exchange for 1 chicken, and likewise Gus should trade less than 1 1/3 chicken in exchange for 1 product. This is beneficial to them as it lowers their opportunity costs and ultimately helps both of them, even if they are rivals. As we can see, Walter White and Gus are having a bit of an argument here. Walter White is stating that as Gus increases the price on his product, less of the addicts on the street can afford it, and the overall demand is going down. Walter White is correct here. As the price increases, demand will always shift downward as less people can afford it. However, Gus, being the reasonable man he is, has a reason for his actions. As he is saying, the higher the price, the more he can supply, as supply has a positive effect with price. So as the price goes up, so does your supply. And lowering the price now could deplete their stock, as with lower price, you're bound to end up with less supply. As you can see, this is the equilibrium. This is where Gus and Walt can come to an agreement on where to sell, as this is where both your demand and supply meet. As you can see, it will make them a lot of money. Now, demand and supply can shift for many reasons. Here's an example. The DEA is expected to crack down on drug flow across the border, making them much harder to find and increasing demand for Walt's product. As you can see, Hank is not messing around this time. This is a future expectation, So people on the streets of Albuquerque will demand more of Walt's product. Demand can always be changed by consumer decisions, so trends, future expectations, and basically any idea that the consumer can have can shift demand outward. Now, supply, on the other hand, is changed by the cost of production. So supply can shift outward if Walter White has developed a new formula for his product, making it cheaper. And of course, as supply shifts outward, equilibrium price decreases and vice versa. And for demand, the equilibrium price will increase and vice versa. And of course, both of these lines can shift to the left as well if there is an inverse effect. Whenever there is more quantity supplied than demand, Gus will have a surplus in goods, as you can see up here. At $75 for the product, he will end up with a surplus of 50. That is no good. And you will have to lower his prices to restore the equilibrium. Now, when the quantity supplied is less than demand, Gus will be left with a shortage, also not good for him. And again, at $75, there will be a shortage of 50 again. Gus will have to raise prices in order to restore this equilibrium. It's fairly simple to calculate. At any value that is above or below the current equilibrium, you just subtract the numbers and you get your answer. As you can see, Gus is not very happy about this situation. That's pretty much all. Thank you for coming to Los Pollos Hermanos, where you can taste the family, and we hope to see you again soon.